So what I'm here to do is really to talk about what Ford is doing and some of our initiatives surrounding sustainability. So for us, we're talking about the power of choice. When we think of what we're coming to market with, we're coming to market by the end of the year. We'll have the all-electric Focus Electric. We'll have 2 plug-in hybrids in production, the C-Max Energy and the Fusion Energy. And we'll also have 2 hybrids, the C-Max Hybrid and the Fusion Hybrid. So when we look at our role within sustainability, we look at it, we know that customers don't always have the same needs, nor does one green solution really meet everybody's desires and what they need out of a vehicle. So that's why we're coming to market with multiple vehicles, 3 of which are plug-in vehicles, 1 of which is all electric. In terms of a purchasing decision factor, 44% of folks out there say fuel economy is the #1 decision factor in their automotive purchase. So this is huge. Maybe even 10 years ago, you wouldn't find this to be even close to this number as far as the first. So every time we come to market, we try and be best in class in a fuel economy message with our vehicles. In fact, right now, on a nameplate basis, by the end of the year, we'll have 1/3 of our vehicles with 40 miles per gallon, or MPGE, on the electric side, or greater. And that's looking at it on a nameplate basis. So the trick is now, hopefully, we'll be able to drive some of that into the volume side of things. One of the big key issues, though, is, okay, maybe electrified vehicles aren't right for all consumers. So we're investing in something called EcoBoost. And this really helps us because it's direct injection and it's turbocharging. What this does for the consumer is allows you to get better fuel economy and also more towing power if you're in an F-150, or more power if you're in an Escape or something of that nature. So on any given month over the past couple of years, hybrids and EVs have represented somewhere around 2 to 4% of the industry's sales. So that's not a huge volume, right? So if you look at, okay, up to 98% are traditional internal combustion engines. So how do we take that next step in this mass area of vehicles in order to make those more fuel efficient? Because that's where you're going to really start improving some other numbers. You know, everybody has to hit CAFE standards and other standards in the future. So we're leveraging what we're calling EcoBoost as our engine name. We're going to be putting it in an awful lot of our vehicles. By 2013, we're planning to produce about 1.5 million EcoBoost engines globally. Now, to put this in some other terms, 90% of our nameplates will offer EcoBoost engines. So that includes, as you see on here, Escape, Explorer, Edge, Focus, Focus ST, which is coming out very soon, our performance derivative of the same vehicle line that I have for Focus Electric. So we're really trying to leverage this engine and the direct inject technology, because again, if you can get better fuel economy and better performance, that's a win on all sides for the consumer. But getting into electrification, this goes back to our power of choice, where we are going to have hybrids, energy with an I. That's how we're going to be branding our plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, C-Max Energy and Fusion Energy, and then the all-electrics. So unlike some other manufacturers that are electrifying a single platform, we're electrifying our global platforms. And when you think about where Focus Electric is being produced, that's at Michigan Assembly Plant. That plant will also be producing a hybrid and a plug-in hybrid along with the Focus ST and the gas Focus. So this is going to be the first plant to have this wide variety of powertrains. This helps us to reduce cost, but it also helps us to move production depending on how the consumer demand reacts or how the marketplace reacts. So right now we've set our volumes where we have a certain amount of plug-in hybrids we're producing, a certain amount of hybrids and all electrics, and we have the ability to match production to demand at that plant. But if you think about some of our competitors off of a single platform, they don't have that ability to meet what the market wants. By 2013, we're going to be tripling our production capacity for electrified vehicles. So that's up to 100,000 vehicles. But the big statistic is down there at the bottom, and Ford is aiming for hybrid and electric vehicles to make up between 10 and 25% of our vehicle fleet within a decade. Just a little bit about the technologies. I believe most people are probably pretty informed about hybrids and how they work. So on the plug-in hybrid side of thing, the vehicle can actually operate like a traditional hybrid, or you can put it into an all-electric mode where it would only use the battery until that battery is done, and then it goes back to operating like a hybrid. And on the all-electric, of course, it's 100% battery-driven. So when we look at purchasing factors, 61% of the population out there are interested in hybrid or electric vehicles. Now, in terms of a purchase funnel, clearly if we're only selling, by the industry I mean, 2 to 4% in hybrid and electrics, we have a long way to go before we're meeting some of the targets we have. But maybe 10 years ago, to say that 61% of the folks out there would be at least interested in looking at hybrids and electric vehicles or vehicle type, you wouldn't have seen that number. So we've definitely grown. That purchase funnel, if you will, is starting to widen, and then hopefully we can start widening it at the base when people actually buy the vehicles. A little bit about the C-Max Hybrid and C-Max Energy. This is a vehicle that we're bringing the design over from Europe, so they have C-Max over in Europe already. We are going to be using lithium-ion batteries. We'll have a little slide on this later, but the lithium-ion batteries are lighter, and therefore we can make them a little smaller and still have a good amount of range on them. This is our first plug-in hybrid production vehicle. So we'll have the C-Max Energy coming this year, and then by the end of the year we'll have the Fusion Energy, which is another plug-in hybrid in production. That transitions me into the Fusion and Fusion Hybrid and Fusion Energy. We also take a look at our power of choice, if you will, and apply it to individual nameplates. So when you think about Fusion, we're going to have a lot of different powertrains. So they're going to be able to select that hybrid or the plug-in hybrid or a number of internal combustion engines, including EcoBoost. So again, we're putting EcoBoost in all of our very popular products because some people just aren't going to be in electrified vehicles. And we know that the great area, most people are actually still going to buy internal combustion engines, so this is how we're going to help increase our fuel economy through this strategy. So a little bit about Focus Electric. My vehicle is the leader in the launch of Ford's electrified vehicles in the way that we're coming to market first in terms of production. So Orlando, which you see down there in the bottom right, is one of our 19 pilot markets that we identified. How we identified our pilot markets, some of the factors were, hey, where are hybrids being sold? We use hybrids as a surrogate for where we expect EV sales to happen. It also happens to be where there are likely partnerships, where the government works well, where there's investments. And so when you think about why we're here and people are investing and Orange County is investing, that's in part why we chose to go where we did. My product specifically, we are the first in our class to hit over 100 mpge, so it's 110 mpge in city, 105 overall. We are leveraging a specific type of charging station with our partner Leviton, and it allows us to charge fully in 4 hours, so it's half the time of our competition, or about half the time. So we think we have a winner. In fact, our label, our official EPA window label, will have a best-in-class message to it as well, 76 miles versus Leaf's 73. So what is MPGE? It's a formula developed by the EPA, and it's going to be on your window label telling you what it really does, and there's actually a really intensive math formula behind this, but it takes a look at the amount of energy used in an internal combustion engine and then translate that into the amount of energy that you'd be using in an electric vehicle. So that's how they equate the two together. So approximately 33 kilowatts per hour equals 1 gallon of gasoline. A little bit about the lithium-ion battery packs. They are lighter. That allows us to either add more range if we kept it, if we were able to increase the size of the battery pack, or if we want to, we can decrease the size of the battery pack and still achieve the same range as a much heavier and much bigger one in previous generations. So all of our vehicles are transitioning over to lithium-ion, including our hybrids. One of the things that we're doing with some of our vehicles is we're starting to do some other sustainable things. So we put a soy-based seat foam in many of the vehicles across our lineup. Within Focus Electric specifically, Fusion is starting to get this, but we've worked with a company called Unify. They make a brand of fiber called Reprieve, which is 100% post-industrial and post-consumer content. And they somehow are able to break that down, and then they spin it into a yarn, and another manufacturer creates seat fabric out of this. So it's not just about saying, hey, look at us, we're all electric, it's a battery, we're greener. People expect us to take the next step. We've got recycled denim in the vehicle as well. We have a lot of plastics in the vehicle that are derived maybe out of corn or other types of materials. We're doing research on rubbers and stuff with dandelions, and so we try and include all this into our vehicles. A little bit on my vehicle specifically. You can see we have two 4.2-inch LCD clusters. On this left-hand side here is really where we keep almost all of the electric-specific information. On the right-hand side, that's where we keep our emotional icons. So we use butterflies for Focus Electric. This really goes back to our target customer and the people that buy electric vehicles. If you know about that butterfly effect, where it's small changes can help lead to these greater changes, that's really what the people are doing when they're buying electric vehicles. They're not, look at me, I'm saving the world with my one purchase. It's, hey, I'm part of this next wave of technology, and we're trying to advance this wave, and it'll help build and become a bigger and greater thing. We're also releasing an app for your smartphone, as well as a website where you can control a lot of the functionality on the vehicle in terms of finding charging stations. You can pre-plan your route to make sure you can get everywhere you need to go, or it'll suggest you need to find a charge station. We've built some functionality into it so you can actually push your achievements to Twitter and Facebook and email, so you can help promote electric vehicles. We have leaderboards that will be out there, so you can try and figure out, okay, I'm the most efficient, or I've gone the most electric miles in my area. So we've got a lot of different things in this app, and for the folks that don't have smartphones, we have the redundant stuff we have redundancy within the website. And then winding down here right at the end, we've partnered with some national firms really, because one of the main concerns about folks buying electric vehicles is, okay, this is somewhat new technology, or at least it's new to me, and I'm not sure of what's going to happen. So we've partnered with Best Buy and Leviton for our charge station installation. So Leviton creates the box, Best Buy comes out to the house and does a site survey to check out the wiring and make sure your house is good if you want to get a 240-volt charge station. We partner with Microsoft, so on our charge times, you can actually set the vehicle to charge when your electricity rate is at its lowest. So let's say it's at midnight and the electrical rate drops to 5 cents per hour. Well, that's when it's going to charge. So you can go home, plug it in, it won't charge until midnight. A little bit on public charge station availability. So we're predicting about 12,000 here by the end of 2012, and I think we added a few more this week thanks to the Peabody Hotel. So we're on our way to that number. So some people do want to know about payback. If you look at a 40 mile per gallon vehicle, just say $4 per gallon. It's about $8 for an 80 mile trip. And then you transition that over to where we have as a Leaf, and then Focus Electric with value charging, so it gets even lower. We've also partnered with a company called SunPower. We know that electric vehicle customers they're often like luxury customers, so they want this total package, if you will. So we partnered with SunPower to have solar panels installed at your house should you want to go that route. And therefore, we have our program is called Drive Green for Life. It's technically an offset, so it would feed into your home's energy grid and not directly to the charge station. And that's it. So I think